Alright, it's about to get real. Like, teacher real. Like, yeah. Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today, I'm going to do something exciting! Because who wants to think about teaching during the summer? Honestly, summer break just means you're just constantly thinking about what you're gonna do next year. So I thought it'd be the perfect opportunity to do the teaching tag, and this was created by Jennuine Teaching and Apples and Tiaras on YouTube. Love both those girls to death. Love watching their channels. Let's just go for it. We're gonna dive in. So, number one question, how long have you been teaching? What grades have you taught? Tell us a little about your background. I guess I'll start with where I went to college. So I went to St. Mary's College in Notre Dame, Indiana. Go Irish. I knew I wanted to go there all throughout high school. I knew I wanted to be a teacher. The program there is excellent. And basically what they set up for us was, number one, they know that teachers get burnt out doing one thing. So our school required us to get a major, so an elementary education, and then some sort of other certification or minor, something like that. So as I was thinking about what I could possibly do with that other minor certification, I thought about when I was in elementary school and I had a auditory processing disorder. Basically, the connections in my brain were not meeting up, and everything anyone said to me, it just sounded like gibberish. It literally sounded like Charlie Brown. I had an IEP, an individualized education plan, from kindergarten all the way through like 3rd or 4th grade. And I went to speech therapy, I had small group instruction and everything like that. With that in mind, and just kind of like my background as a student and how much I loved my teachers in the special education setting, I thought it'd be perfect if I just went for it, if I just got a certification in special education as well. So basically this was a double major. Essentially, I got a double licensure, so I'm able to teach elementary education K through 6, and then I'm also able to teach special education pre-K through 12. So I got 2 licenses in one in 4 years. So it was a little crazy, but I am so glad I did it. So that kind of segues into what I do. When I graduated from college, I knew exactly what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a special education teacher, small group setting. I wasn't sure what type of disability I wanted to work with. I applied for almost everything. I applied for a learning disability job, I applied for emotional disability job, and by the end of it, I was offered a position as a multiple disabilities teacher. Basically what that means is I just have the gamut in my classroom, and it's more of a self-contained setting. If students require a little bit more support, instruction, behaviorally, emotionally, academically, and that's what I've been doing for the past 4 years now. I just finished my 4th year of teaching. I'm going into my 5th year of teaching, which is insane. I can't even believe it. I absolutely love my job. I love being in the small group setting. I love just everything about it, so I know I made the right decision. Question 2, what grade do you currently teach and where do you teach? So when I initially got hired at my school, I've been at the same school for 4 years now, so from the beginning till now. And when I initially got hired, I was going to be 4th grade. And I had 7 kids in my classroom. It was the perfect first year. The students were lovely. The support at my school is amazing, and I just loved the 4th grade curriculum. So then at the end of my first year, they said, you know what, there's a little bit more support needed in 5th and 6th grade. We're gonna split 5th and 6th grade, and I'm like, great! So it was like my first year all over again. I had 2 new curriculums. I had all sorts of students. I had 12 students altogether, and I can honestly tell you, that was a really hard year for me. I had a lot of parental input. I had a lot of behavior issues, like crazy 6th grade boy behavior issues. It was very difficult to juggle the 2 curriculums when I was just learning what to do, and it felt like my first year all over again, and that was the year that I was a little overwhelmed. I didn't know if I had those moments where that was like, is this worth it? Is it worth it? Is this worth it? Because I had so many moments where it was just, unbearable. In the next year, I was strictly 6th grade. We had a new assistant principal come in and say, we're not splitting you guys anymore between grade levels. We're just going to do, you know, each grade level one, they call us non-categorical teachers, so one non-categorical teacher per grade. So I ended up being 6th grade, and I looped with the same kids from my first year to that year, and that was really awesome. I loved that. I cried at their promotion ceremony because I had been with them since they were little 4th graders, and then I got to see them fly away and go into middle school. Yeah, that was a really awesome moment. This current year, I stayed with 6th grade and I had 7 students on my caseload, but I pulled different students for different things. I had different programs that I was doing, and yeah, so that's currently what I'm doing, and next year I'll be 6th grade as well, and I have 9 boys on my caseload next year, so it's going to be interesting. Number 3, what is your school mascot? We are the Gators. Gators. How many students are in your class this year? So I kind of touched on this. It fluctuates. It kind of goes from, like, my first year was 7, second year was 12. I think my next year I had like 6, which was a very, very low number, which was awesome. And then last year I had 7 plus a couple others that I pulled from here and there. But next year I'm gonna have 9 so far because it always ends up that someone gets added on and people leave, and you know, so you never know. What is your ideal class size? Honestly, for me, doesn't really matter. Anything below 10 is good. When I had 12, that was very, very challenging. Just to control the behaviors while also implementing best practices by doing workshop model and everything like that, and just expecting those students that were behavior problems to do things independently was just a pain in the neck. What is your favorite drink at Starbucks? I actually don't go to Starbucks, but I do really like their Tazo black tea, the Awake English Breakfast black tea, which is what I drink on a daily basis. I absolutely love it. It just gives me energy, and y'all know it's like wake up, caffeine, teach, grade, repeat. Like that's typically the life of a teacher. So sip time. What is your favorite online resource? So I absolutely love Teachers Pay Teachers. It's a excellent resource. There's a lot of really awesome free downloads, and I've gotten a lot of other like clerical resources from like Pocketful of Primary. Love her shop. She has really awesome sub binder and substitute lesson plans sort of format that I really do like. I also really enjoy Super Teacher Worksheets just for sending homework home. It has a really awesome model at the top of it, and then there's all these different problems that they solve, especially for math. That's like my go-to resource to get math homework. Can you describe your perfect classroom? Can you describe your perfect school? This question's interesting. My perfect classroom. Like, I am not prepared for this question. Perfect classroom. So my perfect classroom would be students who enjoy the act of learning, because I run into it all the time, because with a special education classroom, they have difficulties, and they're in my classroom for a reason, and a lot of times the academic difficulties lead to behavior problems and emotional problems and stuff like that. So my ideal classroom would be a place where students feel safe, students feel like they can take risks. I really try to promote that safe learning environment for my students. I would think a perfect classroom would be just students who enjoy being there, students who are like sponges and want to absorb everything. And I honestly think that the school I'm at right now, I really do enjoy my school that I work at right now. The coworkers are amazing, the community that we've built there is amazing, my grade level team is amazing. And I have a lot of other coworkers that are not on my grade level team that we go out for happy hours all the time. And I think that's so important, is to connect with your coworkers and your admin on a different level than just, I guess, being coworkers, if that makes sense. Okay, what is your favorite and least favorite part about teaching? So my favorite part about teaching is seeing the growth of my students. I had a lot of moments this year, more so than years past, where students will say, Mrs. Norkowitz, I didn't understand how to divide and subtract at the beginning of the year, now I do. Like, that is the best feeling in the world when a student says, I was not able to do this, but I've learned how. I think that's my favorite part of teaching, is just that moment where a student goes, you know what? I was really, I had a lot of work to do in this area, but now I really enjoy doing it. It's just those moments that I live for. That's my favorite part of teaching, because to be honest, a special education teacher, you don't see a lot of proficiency where, the rest of the grade level, they're just working on passing those standardized tests. All I'm looking for is, hey, how much did you grow this year? Because a lot of times they're in 6th grade and they're starting at like a 2nd, 3rd grade reading level, and still working on those foundational skills for math. So a lot of times, and for my own sanity, I have to look at growth. I have to, because if I compare myself to other teachers, if I compare myself to other students in the gen ed, or even other special education classrooms that are achieving different things, I would drive myself crazy. My least favorite part is all of the clerical stuff that goes along with special education, like IEPs, reevaluations, eligibilities, all that kind of stuff, progress reports. It's endless. It's like every time I tick off something in my head, it just keeps, the list just keeps growing. What is some advice that you would give to a beginning teacher, someone who's thinking about going into teaching, or someone who's already teaching? Some advice that I would give a beginning teacher is to always ask questions. Leave your door open. Collaborate with other teachers. I think that connecting with coworkers, collaborating and seeing other people's ideas, and also venting to each other. I am just telling you that there are a lot of moments where we are in vent mode during planning. I'll go see my co-teacher, or I'll go see my coworker, and we just kind of go, ugh. Anyway, so I would say my advice to a beginning teacher is to always stay in contact with the people around you. Don't isolate yourself. Don't feel like you're the only one that's having issues or questions or problems, because 99% of the time, every other teacher has worries and concerns and questions floating around their head. So that was the teaching tag. I encourage any of you teachers on YouTube to give it a go, and I would love to hear your answers. And if there's any other questions that you have for me, just leave them down below. I would love to make another Q&A video about teaching, or any questions that you have about teaching, or any advice, any further advice that I could give people, because I'm reaching into veteran mode. I'm getting there. Almost 5 years under my belt, which is kind of insane. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye!